Inside one of America's busiest air freight hubs, Specialist Sharon Bishop of U.S. Customs and Border Protection, or CBP, is ready to inspect packages of potential pathogens pulled from conveyor belts that carry goods from around the world.
This is very important to every single person on the planet.
This small box being sent from the UK to Chicago is labeled with a code, warning it contains an infectious substance. Specialist Bishop carefully opens it.
So you have a little box that contains some vials.
My goodness, it says DNA on it.
But little else is known about what's inside those vials, and Bishop says the package is not enough to protect people from it.
It's a clear and present threat as it is right now.
Bishop is part of CBP's team of Biological Threat Operations Specialists, or BTOS, a coordinated program to counter infectious threats to America. BTOS was launched 4 years ago by CBP Director Suzette Kelly, who was stunned by the number of viruses and bacteria sent to and through the U.S. every day.
I would not be in this job if I was not constantly alarmed or worried.
Director Kelly's BTOS teams began operating in 2019.
Then the pandemic hits.
Yes.
What did you think?
CBP is ready.
You were ahead of it.
Yes.
Soon, BTOS teams were in place at 25 ports across the country, pulling packages and inspecting pathogens inside, including COVID-19 itself.
SARS-CoV-19 is being shipped a lot.
Right. Samples of the viruses were definitely needed to be sent to the U.S.
While most samples are sent safely to medical institutions and research labs, others are not. This box filled with COVID-19 proteins was flagged in Cincinnati. The vials were loose and not labeled properly. And these glass vials, seen in an X-ray image, were loosely packed in bubble wrap and full of blood.
Drawn from a horse suspected to be infected with glanders.
Glanders is a bacteria that's deadly to horses and people. According to the CDC, without treatment with specific antibiotics, as many as 9 of every 10 people who get it die. Even with correct antibiotics, CDC says up to 5 of 10 people die.
If it had cut somebody and exposed them to that, then it's very likely they would have died.
The vials were destroyed, but the biological threats continue. Since BTOS began, CBP has intercepted 878 packages of viruses, bacteria, and other biological material that failed to meet U.S. import requirements. Some of those intercepted packages, CBP says, were even being sent to people who set up labs in their homes.
And you're telling me that some dude in a bathrobe in the basement could be getting this material?
Quite possibly, yes.
And the pathogens aren't just wrapped up in packages. Sometimes people carry them. Last year, a scientist and his wife pleaded guilty after CBP officers at Seattle-Tacoma Airport seized equipment, chemicals, and biological material from the scientist's Chinese lab that he stuffed into 5 suitcases.
We've seen cases where persons will actually slip a vial into their shirt pockets.
The viruses and bacteria are microscopic, but the threat is massive. Preventing contamination is a tall order.
That's a lot to ask.
It is a lot to ask.
But Director Kelly and her team say CBP is up to the challenge, preventing pathogens from breaking out.
And every single day we stand ready to ensure that we inspect, detect, and protect the U.S.
For Spotlight on America, I'm Dwayne Pullman.